can see, I've got this really cool My Other's Keeper song that
Written
Misha
for you,
written
written
for
for you,
me,
and not finished with the video, but we're going to tease y'all a little bit.
but that's okay. We'll work with it. All right, so
Yeah.
let's start playing it and let people hear what you've been up to.
Yeah.
We come from different paths, but we're not alone. Carrying stories in the shadows, aching to be shown. Through the pain and healing, together we will rise. With every open heart, we see through clearer eyes. You are my brother, my sister, my friend. In this space, with the broken pieces mend. No hate, just love and hands to hold. A place where every soul is bold. I'm my brother's keeper, my sister, my friend. In this space, the broken pieces mend. No hate, just love and hands to hold. A place where every soul is bold. I'm my brother's keeper, I'm my sister's guide. Standing here together with nothing left to hide. We lift each other up when the world feels torn apart. We're keepers of the flame, we're the healers of the heart. Some come with scars, some come with dreams. In this circle, we're more than what we seem. No judgment here, just voices to be heard. Through laughter, through the tears, we find every word. I'm my brother's keeper, I'm my sister's guide. Standing here together with nothing left to hide. We lift each other up when the world feels torn apart. We're keepers of the flame, we're the healers of the heart. When the darkness calls, we'll light the way. When the darkness calls, we'll light the way. No one here has to face it alone today. No one here has to face it alone today. We're stronger as we stand hand in hand. We're stronger as we stand hand in hand. With love in our hearts we heal this land. With love in our hearts we heal this land. I'm my brother's keeper, I'm my sister's guide. Together we'll find peace, no need to hide. Ooh. We lift each other up when the world feels torn apart. We're keepers of the flame, we're the healers of I'm my brother's keeper, I'm my sister's guide. Together we'll find peace, no need to hide. We lift each other up when the world feels torn apart. We're keepers of the flame, we're the healers of the heart. We're keepers of the flame, we're the healers of the heart. We're keepers of the flame, we're the healers of the heart. Keepers of the flame.
All right.
Ta-da! Kind of done.
Ta-da! Surprise! Okay. Hey, we have some new people. We have
Yay.
Chew. We have
Oh.
Snow White.
That's me.
That's you? You're Snow White?
That's me.
Okay.
That's my alter
Snow
ego.
White. You did great. But great to see Indigo, Daniel,
Yes.
Crystal. Who else? Cosmic is here. Awesome. So great to
Chew?
see everybody
I
tonight.
can't read well because my eyes, but is that Chew?
Yep.
Chew?
Who's
I've
Chew?
never
Do you know
seen.
Chew?
Uh-uh.
No, I haven't either.
Hi, Chew.
Welcome. Feel
And
free to introduce
Christy.
yourself. I would love to meet you, get to know
Yeah.
you a little better.
Hi, Daniel. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Indigo. Hi, me, Snow White. I want to tell you, today I always get myself manic on these things. Right.
Mm,
Anytime I have any appointment, I'm going through all these different things that I need to get done.
yeah.
All that fun stuff.
Hmm.
Today I was dealing with, I don't remember how much that you know about the producer of Our Voices Cry and the incident that I'm going through with that.
That tiny, I know just the tiniest bit.
I just might almost come close. I was going to, for definite, but I was calmed down.
Okay.
The reason that I was calmed down is because I was reminded of the people that are in my life. Crystal, at the perfect time, sent me out of the blue, sent me a little, just a fun thing to make me smile.
Yeah.
And
She's
where
good
I
at that.
was, yeah, she's great at that.
Yeah.
And where I was, it was a very, very scary moment, actually. I was using a lot of cuss words that I don't even like to use, but I was using them and I was throwing out there and I was doing a dang good job at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was very upset. And I thank God for my friends. I thank God for you, Crystal.
So, Misha, do
You
you want
guys
to
are
tell
awesome.
us anything about why you're upset at the producer? Or is that not something you're
I
willing to
think
talk about at the
actually,
moment?
I think I'm going to. I think because I think I
Okay.
need to have my side told.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I didn't want to, but also most of my daughter's friends were friends, and they're
Mm-hmm.
of course, uh, part of and subbed up or however you want to put it, to where that they can hear what's going on in our life because there are family friends there, and I
Yeah.
don't want to just put it out there
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want to be like that. But at the same time, Allison's told me I can talk about it. Samantha's told me I can talk about it, and Audrey took on a lot.
Okay.
And I think that it needs to be told because it's just really it goes part and partial with everything that's come together in my life that's made me me.
Absolutely.
Our Voices Cry is, in case you guys don't know, the day after Christmas 2022, I lost my daughter Christina. She was homeless and she had went through so much just in her short little life that she felt like she had to run away from where she was and went straight from the frying pan into the fire, so to speak. She was homeless. She was being sex trafficked. She was addicted, and nobody around her to do anything positive. And she was killed. Um, she was friends with the man that is the producer of Our Voices Cry. In fact, the very first time that we spoke after, he was the first person I talked to, and I went onto his Facebook. And I was so angry. I was so mad. And I wrote this whole long thing. Whoever did this to her, don't ever close your eyes. Don't ever think in waking days that you're going to be able to not see mine and her face. And so, of course, as soon as he saw it, he called me. And I'd spoken to him before. Um, I thought he was an ally. And now I just really don't know.
What happened? What made you change your mind?
Sorry.
No, don't be so. I would be more concerned if you weren't crying.
I'm angry.
Oh, yeah.
And a person's mind, especially mine, because I think of 200 million things in 1 second sometimes, and none of it makes sense. But then when it does, it's something I have to pay attention
Oh,
to.
that's right.
And I'm not going to get into everything like that, but just basically, um, he decided, because he had done was working on building a documentary about homelessness.
Mm-hmm.
And one moment.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been an ugly cough. Um,
Fair.
so he was doing a documentary about homelessness, and Christina had been in it. She was wanting to be a part of it. And so we'd interviewed her and had done some work together.
Mm-hmm.
And so he offered to do a documentary at first about Christina's life, and then it turned into a full-fledged movie. The tagline on it was something to the fact of listening and understanding the vulnerable, which I just think is ironic. I don't know. I just there's so many complications. There's so much.
What makes the irony?
Because I feel like he had just taken advantage and listened and heard all of our vulnerability and all of Christina's and all of Allison's, just to use and to manipulate. But then there's that part of me that says, no, Misha. I probably should have brought this up. I probably shouldn't have talked about it right now.
That's okay. We're all here for you. Nothing but love. You need to be surrounded right now, and you are.
I know, and I thank you guys for that. I'd like to come on sometime and not be all blah, 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 blah.
Well, kind of off brand, but hey. Sometime you'll come on and we will simply talk about your art and your music and all of the things that bring you joy. But today, for right now, you need to share this difficulty. Really, and if you don't share it, you're going to carry it all on yourself. That's not okay.
Yeah, but what if I'm just considering it? And I did. I mean, all the boxes have been checked.
Mm-hmm.
But for one thing, it makes me so angry because that is Christina's. And I latched on to it because I felt like we were going to be doing something in honor for her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been turned so ugly.
Oh no, what's happened?
I want to forgive him, and I want to think that it's not what I'm thinking, but because of everything that's happened in all of our lives for so long, it just tears me up because I don't want to be like, when you get out of the initial anger stage, and then you think, and you don't want to mess the world up for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to just be able to forgive and go forward.
So how did he break your trust? What happened?
Let me count the ways. Let me segue. Because I thought I could do that, but I can't, even if I'm upset, even if I'm angry.
That's okay.
Basically, it's one of these things that our family was hurt yet again.
Mm-hmm.
Because selfishness come to play, and things that are important were stepped to the side.
Yeah.
And it's not fair. But it goes along with the whole agoraphobia thing. It explains it so well.
Mm-hmm.
I did a recording. I've been trying to do, every time I get a car, I try to do a recording. That has been helping me with my getting out and doing things.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's really hard to get from here to the door and outside. And once I'm out there, I'm exposed. Once I'm out there, at least can control it somewhat here in the house. I still can't control it, and it still becomes so overwhelming. But out there, I'm really vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And life has been really, really chaotic, more than normal the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Really bad. It's like, this, you can't make this crap up. I wish I was. It's just hard to handle it all. But I made them, and I haven't even listened to them until just today again, because it was just, I'm like, no, because it included all of this stuff that happened, kind
Mm-hmm.
of partially, not with him, but my baby girl. I drove up there to see my oldest, or I drove down there to see my oldest.
Mm-hmm.
She was going to advocate for me. She was going to help me to get everything lined up for the doctors and the the insurance and the lawyers and all these things that Misha needs to be doing and can't seem to get her butt to do it.
Right.
She was going to do that for me, and we were excited. And of course, I was late because I'm like, you're like the only person that I'm not late for.
I'm
So
honored.
yes. It's 7:17 though. That's Christina's number.
Oh, wow.
So she's telling me.
She's got you. She's got your back.
I was late like normal,
Mm-hmm.
but I was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I get there, and the first thing that I'm told is that my youngest had OD'd, and they had to bring her back to life. My oldest was angry and scared, and so none of us handled it well.
That is not something that anybody does handle well.
No.
So the fact that you're still alive, you handled it perfectly.
Yeah, the fact that the person involved is still alive, the fact that I have Alician, and we're working on things. We all have our issues, and I can't blame her for the life that we've all lived.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
just she's smarter, but I'm here for her with everything.
Mm-hmm.
It had been a month since it had happened.
Mm-hmm.
She was in the hospital for 2 days, not even an hour away from here.
Wow.
And when she's here, she's usually here.
Right. Now she OD'd, but she did end up surviving, correct?
She is alive and well and striving.
Okay. Good. Good.
Yeah.
Has she had the strength to stay clean?
I believe so.
Good.
I believe in her, and I know that if I were too hard on it, it could be a whole other thing.
Absolutely.
I think that as addicts, we will always be addicts in one way or another, but we have to keep it in check.
Mm-hmm.
And harping on somebody and bringing it up all the time, actually, if they're not thinking about it, it makes them think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're feeling good about themselves, it makes them feel bad about themselves.
Exactly.
And so I believe in her. And if she has any issues, she knows she has come to me. It's not like there's a closure there. She always, no matter what, just like with Christina, no matter what, I didn't like most of the stuff that she told me.
Right.
But everybody needs somebody in their corner, especially mom if they have one.
That's right. And mom needs to be there no matter what. Right?
Absolutely.
Mom doesn't need to keep getting kicked in the head.
Yeah.
But
right.
That's the balancing act, isn't it? Right?
Everything is
Like, I don't
balanced.
have to let you into my house to steal from me, but I will
Right.
love you, and I will take you to Walmart and buy clothes.
I'll feed you dinner.
I'll feed you dinner. Yep. Make sure you have something warm in your belly.
And I'll help you work through your problems. And I won't ever tell you how to do it anymore. That's not my job. But I can
That's
give
right.
you every tip, and everything that I have available is yours.
Yeah, that's right. As moms, as friends, as support people for either our born or our chosen families, that's really all we can do, isn't it?
And
And
it
you've been
tears me
doing a
up.
great job there, Misha. Great
Ah,
job. No, you
no,
are
it's
here. She is here. You've
she's
been
actually in
doing really well.
Tennessee right now. She's got a job where she goes all over the country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so I won't get to see her for another few weeks, which sucks. I hate that part of it. But I'm
Yeah.
so glad that she gets to do that. She is, you know,
What's
she
her
is
job?
she does the building. Believe it or not, she told me she got the job. I was like, no, there's something to this. Don't tell me that, because she said that they were going to provide her own tools and that she was going to be a construction worker, making the amount of money that she was making, which was wow. And they were going to fly her all around. And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
Alice, I'm the one that uses the measuring tape around here. That doesn't make sense because she'd never done that. Um,
Yeah.
but it's a different kind of construction. It's putting together like the Coles and like the CVS's and things like that. They're putting the stands up and the building and
Oh,
getting ready.
okay. So
Yeah.
everything's already pre-measured. She just has to fabricate.
Well, she's learned how to do it, and she's actually done an amazing job.
Awesome.
I'm so proud of her. I mean, she can do stuff. She can do anything she puts
That's
her mind to.
great.
Yeah. And so she's doing this, and she's becoming dependent on herself only and nobody else.
That's awesome.
That's all I could ever ask for, is that she's doing something that she wants to do.
Absolutely.
It's just hard because you've got all these other people that think that they know what she's doing or what she's not.
Yes.
And it's hard whenever you have your two daughters are fighting each other because they're acting out of emotions
Mm-hmm.
and fear and hurt,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to balance that. And then you've got other people coming in and trying to put their weight in it.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel very helpless most everything I do, because not because I can't do it, but because people are taking it from me.
Yep.
Which goes into the agoraphobia.
So tell us more about, well, let's begin at the beginning.
Yeah.
What is agoraphobia and when did it start with you?
Now, put a trigger warning for one, and also the little disclaimer that I am not a medical expert. I've had very little counseling on it, very little explanation other than online.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'm not a medical expert, but I am an experienced person in a lot of things.
Right.
And agoraphobia for me is this little monster on my chest that makes it so hard to breathe. And it makes my muscles freeze. And I know I need to go out and I know I need to do stuff, but I hurt myself in the fact that I don't. Because for instance, I was a child. I think my agoraphobia has been with me for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
To be quite honest, with my adoption, I think it messed a lot of my stuff up mentally, a
Mm-hmm.
lot. And I
How
was
old were you
always
when you were adopted?
birth.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Um, and so I was always on display and made to think, feel, act, and do, because out of gratefulness, which I'm a very grateful person,
Mm-hmm.
but because I owed my everything to these people that took me in and took me away from whatever it would have been that would have been my life.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a big job for a little kid.
It's a great big job. And I really think that had so much more effect, and people don't even realize the effect that it has on every single person that's adopted, whether they have a great home life or not. Because to be honest, in all actualities, if I were to look back on my life, and as growing up, I thought it was pretty much a fairy tale.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was so naive because I didn't know the rest of the world. I was very protected,
Mm-hmm.
too much so.
Okay.
I wasn't allowed to do certain things. I wasn't allowed to spend the night anywhere besides my cousin's house, period, ever. I never did. I never had sleepover except for my cousin's house. Um, I wasn't allowed to go out places. I wasn't allowed to wear certain clothing, earrings, none of that.
Mm-hmm.
I had to be a certain way, and there was the appearance and the status that the family had to be taken care of first and foremost.
Mm-hmm. That's the kind I grew up in, and I wasn't adopted.
Yeah, a lot of people have gone through that, and it was, it's
That's rough.
yeah. Um, and then all of a sudden, one day, everything changed. And
Okay.
I use this analogy a lot. It's like a porcelain doll in a glass casing, and somebody took a hammer and shattered the glass
Oh
and
no.
said, "There you go. There's your world. Find it." Because
Ooh.
my mom died, and everything that I knew to be me went with her. My dad started, which, mind you, girl, never been allowed to go anywhere by herself or stay out late, and was all by herself, lived in the country. I wasn't even
Mm-hmm.
allowed to get dirty, Kim. I mean,
Wow.
I had a spoon whenever I was a little girl at my playground. I had a spoon hidden so I could, whenever I did go outside and mom wasn't looking, I could take a spoonful of dirt. Weird. I know. Random. I know.
Nope.
That's part of me, But,
Yep. That
um,
little bit of rebellion.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, all that changed when she died. All of a sudden, we were shopping for prom dresses that evening. She died that night. And
Wow.
the family wasn't there for me. This family that I thought I had.
Were you an only child?
I was an only child.
Okay.
My family said that I killed my mom because I was too
What?
much. I was too much.
That's horrific.
Yeah.
That
My,
is.
my daddy stayed in the golf course in his office on the couch. And so, never being able to go alone to only being alone, not knowing what to do,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing how to handle anything, not knowing even what a person in that status should do. I had
Yeah.
nothing. And then daddy decides a year and a day to the day that my mom passed to get remarried to a woman who looked just like my mama, wore her hair like my mama, wore sweatshirts like my mama with the embroidered things. Only my mama did her embroidery. She didn't. Fake nails, everything. And then within just a few months of getting married, she was a total different person.
Oh my word.
And she had a daughter who was just a little bit older than me with a granddaughter, and I was replaced. I was again the family sin. And I
How
was a
old were
good
you when this
person.
happened? You were in high school?
I was 18 when they got married. 19.
Right.
No, 18.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Um, I was just left away. Like it didn't matter. And I was in the way. And so, granted, I started becoming stupid. Yes, I did. And that just worked in her favor. I mean, at the funeral, I sat in the second row behind people I didn't even know. He was buried in a total different location. And where Christina's at now, she's beside my mama.
Mm-hmm.
And I fought her on that because daddy should have been in the grave that he had bought for himself next to my mom. The tombstone read his and her name.
Right.
Um, so there's a lot there. And my identity, Mom always told me when I turned 18 what happened, that she passed like 2 months before I did. And then Daddy always said it was in the will. And my stepmom said there was no will. So out of her greed, I don't get my information. Out of respect, I never fought it. As a little girl, though, every time there was a get together, every time there were parties, and there were a lot of them, I was always on display. I always had to, poster child. And what is adoption? Adoption means just the little pretty princess. Yuck. So we would go to the mall, or we would go somewhere, and I remember hiding in the clothing racks.
Yeah.
And I would get this fear, this horrible fear. And I was just a little girl. And Mama would never, she was like, quick, get over it, what are you doing? But every holiday, every party, I always had that. And if I could get myself acclimated, then I could breathe, then I could do it. And high school rolled around, I got a job, and I was actually I was in my own element. And I loved it. I had learned how to work with my fears, work with and find who I thought I was, and move forward. Then came the marriage and the abuse. And then having 3 children. That was a really, really rocky set of years.
For sure.
And during that time, I know this sounds very petty and very vain, but I was at that time also very petty and very vain. I had one bad tooth.
Yeah, okay.
That's all. Only had one bad tooth. I had a cavity, and the filling came out of it. And it hurt so bad, and to get it fixed, the only thing that I was able to do was to have all of them pulled.
Ooh.
I wasn't even 25 years old.
Wow.
And it was because I have had an abusive ex-husband. And it changed everything about me. My looks. I couldn't go anywhere because for a while I couldn't have them in. And I didn't want to go into my world showing. It was just such an embarrassment, such a shame. That why would you do that? You had such pretty teeth. Why would you do that? It was like an announcement because I can't lie very well. And so it was like an announcement. How shameful is that? I didn't want to go anywhere. And he liked that. He liked me being home and barefoot pregnant. I can't tell anything that way. And so I became hermit. And then life goes on, life goes on. And then things happen. I'm trying to think of important things. We ended up breaking up. Fast forward to getting out of jail and all that, getting clean, going to college. It was the first time I was on my own again and doing well, raising my girls and doing what I wanted to do.
Awesome.
And I remember taking my girls to college with me.
What's your degree?
Well, I never ended up finishing.
Okay.
But I was going to be a drug and alcohol counselor.
Oh, okay.
And then also human resources.
Okay.
Um, I was working at one point 4, 5 jobs.
Wow.
The
That's
fifth one was
impressive.
just going like every other weekend and cleaning, so it was not like a great big, but all together, yeah. And then I was doing college, and the place that we had moved into, there was a plumbing issue, and my water bill was like $500 a month.
Oh my word.
And I was a single mom with 3 girls, lots going
Mm-hmm.
on. It gets too chaotic, and I didn't know what to do, didn't know how to handle it, because the landlord, of course, I'll fix it for you. It didn't get fixed
Mm.
because there was always more than besides just rent.
Of course.
And so it was just a lot. And I would just had started going to online college, because luckily they had started that at that time. And so I was
Mm-hmm.
able to do it. But that was so much. It was so much harder going online than an actual person, especially then, because it was just rolling out. And so it was just a lot of, I wasn't a good student for it.
I'm a
Um,
face-to-face learner.
yeah.
My younger daughter, same thing. My older daughter did great during COVID. She did perfectly fine at a distance. But
Yeah. I
I'm
think a lot of
definitely a
people have
face-to-face.
yeah. I like to do the doing, the hands on, the hearing, the
Yeah.
watching, which is why
Yeah.
YouTube's so good.
Yes.
Back then though, they just had the white screen where you had to read
Oh yeah.
reading the books on the white screen on computer is not well for me.
No.
Um, so anyways, basically what I'm getting at is just, it was just a lot, and then you're giving it your all, and it's just a lot. At movie gallery, I'm trying to keep myself on focus as best I can too, because I'm
Mhm.
trying to stay on topic. Stay on topic, Misha. Do it.
You're doing great. You're
Thank
doing
you.
great. I'm trying not to interrupt so I don't derail
No,
you.
no, you're good. I
So,
appreciate
okay.
you. We got to movie gallery, and I had actually, during that time, whenever I was doing all that, I decided to put off college, and I'd had 3 years in. It was a 4-year college, and so I could
Mm.
have had an associate's degree, actually, because
Mm.
2 years, but because it was a 4-year college, I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So one of those. But I still put some college on my applications. But anyways, one of those jobs was movie gallery. One of them was McDonald's. Believe it or not, McDonald's was the hardest job I've ever worked in my entire life.
Really?
They both wanted to give me management. Yeah, oh, it's hard. It's so hard. It is
Mm.
mentally, oh my goodness, because people
Training.
just treat you like crap. The
Oh yeah.
management usually treats you like crap because they have so much, it's just, you talk about crap rolling downhill. Working at McDonald's, you feel like you are the downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they were wanting to make me management, and the movie gallery was wanting to make me management. I love movie gallery because I used to love movies, and I could be personable
Yeah.
with people. It was just, I loved that job. And so I decided to just start working full time at movie gallery, and then it was a little while longer before I could become management. But as they were getting everything ready for me, even though I never started a job ever without telling them about being a felon, I all of a sudden couldn't become management because I had the felony. But let me tell you, in this instance, the regional manager fought so hard for me because I was given a chance to prove myself.
Awesome.
They created, well, at first they just ran over all the red tape and got rid of it, let me become a manager, and I had my own store. And then I got in my own store and just blew things up. It was like the job was meant for me doing this job. They created a title for me and a position above that where I
Wow.
had 16 stores and at least 4 to 8 employees in every single store. And they were all under my,
Ooh.
yeah. And Kim, we still, out of 3,200 stores, US and Canada combined, all of my stores were top 100.
Wow.
All of them were top 100.
Oh,
And that,
you're
I felt at the
impressive.
top of the world. I did. I felt on top of the world. I felt like I can do this. I could do this thing. My girls got to come up all the time, and we were big in the community because I was a big in the community person. I was,
Mm-hmm.
Let's work together. I've always been that way. And it worked. Everybody, the reason that Movie Gallery actually even closed down at the end, they, of course, Redbox and Netflix and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But Family Video had went around and they were going to all the places that had the movie galleries,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they were learning and asking, and they were just buying those locations. The one location they
Yeah.
didn't buy was my area, and they actually came and talked to me. They interviewed me, and I was not going to leave because no, this is my. They did so much for me, I burned it to the ground. By God, I stayed there till the doors got shut. But Family Video did. They come and talked to me. They were like, we can't. This place loves you. The town loves you.
Mm-hmm.
Again, patting on the back because I was able to prove that I was able to do what I wanted to do, set out what I wanted to
For
do,
sure.
and it made such a difference with the community.
Yeah.
They did a lot of Hail Marys, but in the end, ended up closing, and I was on unemployment. And actually, I was still going to college at this time because during
Okay.
unemployment, I was going to college. Okay, no, I quit, but then I went to University of Phoenix for a little bit. Sorry,
Okay.
my
That's
memory's
okay.
not all there. But
It's a lot to keep in. It's a lot to keep in line.
it is. These are the cliff notes. So no. Anyways, I decided to do that, and so I stayed home a lot, and I got very depressed because, yet again, not by what I did, circumstances, I lost again. And that wasn't even a conscious realization until just, the last few years. I've done a lot of thinking and a lot of reflections and just a lot of understanding because I want to try to make it to where that anything that I caused, my kids can understand
Right.
and learn from and learn how to work through. And my
Mm-hmm.
goal, my end thing is I'm going to come out of all this crap and they're going to see Mama have overcome,
Absolutely.
and anybody else that wants
Yeah.
to do it too, but I got to be able to do it.
Yep.
And that takes a lot of looking back, a lot of reflection, a lot of understanding, and not just labels because I have agoraphobia or because I have ADHD or because I have, all these different letters.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 letters
I
that
like
matter the
this.
most.
I like to say that I have a whole alphabet behind my name. None of it has to do with PhD.
Right? Yeah. Well, I say you can make a soup out of them, but
Absolutely. Be careful,
there's
or
2 letters.
you'll have a vowel movement. Yes.
Yeah. Instead of vowel, you'll have a vowel move.
Yes.
That's good. I like that. I like that a lot.
Glad I could make you laugh.
Yeah. The only 2 letters that really matter, Kim, are Emmy. Me. Out of all those letters, out of all the ones that they put on us,
Yep.
we're the ones that matter.
Yeah.
And it's all that stuff, all the different ingredients, all the different spices, all the different tragedies, all the different love, all the different victories. That is what makes us us.
Mm-hmm.
I know this. Getting everything else in my life to realize this is there's a difference, and that disconnect is what I call agoraphobia.
Okay. Yeah.
If I could set, and this started at that time, it got to where going to the grocery store, I started letting the girls go in. I would write notes of what we needed, and I would sit in the car, and I would purposely wear my pajamas so that way I could have the excuse not to go in. I didn't want to face people. I didn't want
Mm-hmm.
them to see me as who I was and have to explain why I wasn't that anymore.
Yeah.
And I've always been, if I can go to somewhere, if I could sit in the parking lot and just and I didn't even realize this either until just recently, if I could sit in the parking lot and breathe, and if I could get myself acclimated to what it was I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
if I could have my routine of everything that I needed to do, my purpose, my plans, and the game plan, then I would be okay. But when things got too chaotic, when they got so fast that I couldn't hold on, and I was having to run in and do this and do that, and I started forgetting things.
Mm-hmm.
Things cost more because I couldn't price them. I couldn't go to my game plan. I couldn't go to what I was focused on because the world was spinning so fast.
Right. Yeah.
And it got so bad that we're skipping over a lot of really hard times again.
That's okay.
But it got to the point where Bradley and I became homeless. And we had like 3 years of being homeless.
Bradley's now your second husband or your second partner?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know he's not the bad guy.
No, he's not. He's actually
Awesome.
put up with a lot from me.
And my husband has too. I'm
Well,
not
I
easy
was
to be
gonna say
married to.
it's ditto because we both have a lot of crap and a lot of good, and we just
Yeah.
But then the last time when we were moving from the motel, which we lived in motels for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Sorry.
That's okay.
When we were moving, the day that we were moving from the motel to this house,
Mm-hmm.
I was so excited because, girl, you don't even know how many trips it was, how much stuff that we had already gotten. Remind you, I love him. He is a collector.
Is it a collector or a hoarder?
Well, the TV show, I'm waiting for it to knock on my door one of these days. It's gonna happen. Bless his heart.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we moved. Well, the very first thing that I did is I met up with somebody off Facebook to buy an air conditioner.
Mm-hmm.
And I reached down in their car in their trunk to pick up this heavy old air conditioner, being She-Ra,
Mm-hmm.
and I threw my back out.
Oh, that would be me right there.
So hard, so hard. And
Oh,
so
it hurt so
watching him,
bad.
we didn't have a vehicle. Luckily, we were only 2 blocks away from the motel that we moved.
Okay.
And so I couldn't do much. I could finish up packing, but it wasn't much packing that needed still to be done. It was just, very helpless.
Yeah.
And no friends were around anywhere, even though, no friends were there. And so he made probably 30 trips back and forth and carries, just a lot. And I wasn't able to decorate the house. And I wasn't able to do the things that you need to do whenever you move into a home to make it yours. And so that just gradually
decorate it to make it your own space. Like, look at mine. I've got paintings everywhere. I've got
and grass walls
and grass walls.
I love.
And the background screen of being a tree. I'm surrounded by nature.
Exactly. I wasn't able to do that, and I love him so much, but decorator he is not. Especially considering, and this is going to sound very shallow and very petty, the way that I grew up was a very pristine, very perfect, very designer, and I wasn't able to do that.
That's not petty. That's not selfish. It's not any of those things. It is a fact.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
I wasn't able to do it though, and I'd always, even though we've been poor, we've been really, really poor, I was always able to jank it up. I was able to dollar store, Dollar Tree, and make things look like the way I grew up. And so there wasn't this time, even though we've been homeless, and my God, the things that we lived through, this is our home.
Yep.
And it got filled up very, very quickly with things because we had a lot of storage. And my life quickly became Tetris and out of control because I couldn't do it the way that it needed to.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like I'm being buried alive, honestly.
And what does Brad say about that?
He doesn't get it. He thinks that I'm being me. See, he knew me whenever I was a kid. He'd been in my house. He knew who I was. There's a lot there also to unpack, but basically my home should have been my shrine, and instead I allowed it to become even further more my jail cell, to where I literally have a 4 foot, which right now is probably about 3 foot by 3 foot area that I stay until I go to sleep.
How many rooms do you have in your house?
It's a 2-bedroom, very small house.
Okay.
2-bedroom, but the 1-bedroom can't even get in. There's so much stuff. It was Allison's, and it's just, because after that, I hurt my back. After I started getting better and started trying to work on it, the pandemic came about. And at the very same time, Bradley got his diagnosis.
And his diagnosis is what?
Cancer.
Wow. What form of cancer?
Non-Hodgkin's.
That sucks.
Yeah,
No cancer is good, but that one really sucks.
He was 44 years old.
Wow.
And his cancer actually went on the outside of his eye. And so you could see his tumor.
Really?
And it was the
And they
size of
couldn't remove it?
He went through like 3 rounds of chemo and like, I don't know, I want to say 15 rounds of radiation, but I can't remember because it's like all a blur. It's all a blur.
Yeah, it just would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got his, I don't know if I have this file or not because I've changed computers and so I don't have all my files. But we got his radiation mask and I hung it up on the wall with the picture frame around it and made it art because we were celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started to come back.
Where is he at now?
It's starting to come back.
Okay.
The effects of all the medicine and things, his teeth turned like chalk. It's hard for me to cook for him and have something that he can eat the entire thing without getting sick.
Oh, wow.
He's got all these symptoms and the doctors won't listen to him because we don't have insurance. And watching that and feeling like that should have been up my alley, calling the doctors and getting everything. That's when my chaos in my brain started happening in my head. And I want to say, I really think my autistic meltdown, breakdown point.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never been the same since. Never been the same since. My brain does not connect 2 and 2 like it used to. Used to automatically it could, and now I literally have to stop on the simplest of things and I get lost.
That happened for me in 2015, November of 2015.
Yeah, you're inspiration because I know that I can get better because I see you.
Oh my goodness. You know how Tommy says this is here, the rest is kind of scary? I get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are things where I am so fortunate is I have a husband who he doesn't always get it. He really doesn't always understand neurodivergence, but he tries.
That's
and I have a daughter who does understand it, and she works hard at it. Like, just, we're a stubborn family. And
stubborn is
we are
good though in the right ways.
Stubbornly going to stick together.
Yeah.
Right?
See, Bradley, bless his heart, he doesn't want to admit it. He's neurodivergent too. And so he's in denial of all of it.
Oh boy.
It's just a bunch of frou-frou. And his eyes, watching him go from the big old biker man to what he's allowed himself to become because of everything, it's heartbreaking. And that's a whole story in and of itself. I mean, just the way that we were treated, the way that, like, the SSI still 4 years later, he's never over like 190, but usually average is 185. They have in his file that he weighs 400 pounds.
What?
Yeah. The doctor that we had to see, the one that they made us go to that was for the SSI, never showed up. We saw the assistant secretary, whatever. The lights were out. I didn't even think they were open. And here comes the secretary coming through, and she's wearing, like, the little medical assistant outfit. So she was, something. She handled the phone calls and everything, and she took us back. She asked him all the questions. We never once saw the doctor. Yet the doctor signed off saying all this stuff. And actually there's just a bunch. There's so much, Kim.
Oh, Misha.
But we've been fighting that for 4 years. And so he still has, and it's the embarrassment, the shame that the judge basically, and the attorneys that we had the first time, they've left us off. It's like there's a stupid, I don't know. I sound very tinfoil hatty when I say this, but it's almost like because people want to do things. Like I go to a business and they want to do stuff. I can talk with them and I understand and I know, and together we can get stuff done. And they're all gung ho on whatever we're doing, sales, whatever. And then all of a sudden everything disrupts and I don't get talked to again. And I don't know what that is about me. I wish I could figure it out.
I'm just going to open up about this a little. It's not anything scary or shameful, but I was a Mary Kay consultant for a number of years, still am technically, but I would book these shows, and in 1 year, I had one person actually show up. Everybody else just ghosted me.
See, what the heck?
I know.
Kim, I've wondered really hard about the TI, targeted individual.
Mm-hmm.
I've wondered about that. I've wondered about because I've always had watchers. Here I go a little bit cray-cray, y'all.
Okay.
But even my girls have, and so they've told me about them, and I'd never said anything until they started mentioning it to me. And that again goes along with my adoption. We didn't really talk much about agoraphobia, did we?
We did a little bit. But you know what? Even if we don't talk specifically about it, we're talking about things that contribute to you insulating yourself in your one space, right?
Yeah.
So even though we're not using that word, we're still talking about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Kim, I stay lost. I really do. I try to put on a brave face. And I try to do.
Yep. When do you let yourself be tired?
All the time.
No, you're trying to get over it. When do you let yourself be tired?
I don't. I can't.
You need to.
It's like if I say I'm going to take this time off, then I literally, that's what the whole issue was today with the producer. Because I'm like, look, I've got a lot I need to do today. I have an interview. I want to be prepared. I've got stuff that I need to do for that. And that turned ugly. It's like every time that I try to be like, I've got this to do, and it's just never works out. And it's my own fault in so many ways, but at the same time, it's like, if I am asking, I need this.
My computer went down, so I missed that.
See that? You were very intensely looking at me.
Yeah. No, but Crystal's right. You need to let your body rest. If you don't look after your body, your brain is going to shut down and your whole system's going to shut down.
That's where I'm at, Kim. I've been there for years.
Exactly. That's exactly right. My body did it for me. I was in bed 18 to 20 hours for more than 10 months, almost a full year.
If Bradley
my body did it because I wouldn't let myself.
Yeah. And that's what's scary, because it's like I literally would probably be the same if not for, I mean, it's just, and I keep going further and further away from my goals because I know that I need to get more sleep. I know that I need to get rest, but it's not feasible.
Is it sleep that you need, or is it rest? Because those are not the same.
Both,
exactly. Yes. Yeah. Maybe you and I should make an appointment every day to sit there and meditate. Just you and me together. Maybe get Crystal in there somewhere. We could have Cosmic show up. Make us a little group. Meditating group. Someplace to just allow our minds to slow down and take in the quiet.
Yeah.
instead of all of the that goes on in all of our brains. Cosmic there, Crystal's like, sure. Yes. Indigo's probably saying, why am I not in there? You have a job.
We'll work around
Crystal
it.
does too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's, you guys don't really, I mean, I say this and I think that people think that I'm just saying it to say it, but I am so absolutely 100%. This is, you guys are my saving grace. God, of course, you guys came because you are divine blessings. We are all divine blessings. And I say that 100% because if not for you guys, I'm telling you, Crystal, you don't even know, girl. Perfect timing.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get through it.
We are.
That's what I've been doing with my things, my trips, my driving, is even if I don't put it out there, I'm still, that's one of my tricks, one of my tools in my tool belt is the driving.
Awesome. That's a step right there.
Yeah. I mean, just getting out of the house is a step because I literally had not been out of the house if it weren't for the couple of times that they let me go with him. Like whenever he had his biopsy and the initial talking and things like that. And so I probably, well, not even probably, I've reached the 30 mark times of going out of the house just the last few months in 6 years. 6 years, Kim, of not leaving the house. That's including going to the funeral, going to the cemetery. I mean, those are, you cannot get out of things. That's not very much going out. And honestly, just the last probably year, the last 20 times. For the first 5 years.
For a year. Yeah, for a year, 20 times? Yeah. When in 6 years, it's only been 30.
No, like that's all together.
Oh.
Like all together.
Okay.
Like maybe 10 times had I been out before then.
Okay.
So it really has been a very busy couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I've reached it at all, though, at the end is just because taking Allison back and forth to work. I'll reach any fear for that. And I think that's one of the things, one of the messages that I wanted to say with agoraphobia is, even though it's scary and even though it is debilitating, and there's all these mental things that go with it, there's all these physical, literal physical things.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain spot, I think in anybody that has agoraphobia, but at least in mine, there's a certain spot in my house. If I can get past that mark, it's easier. And once I'm out, I'm already out. I might as well.
Yeah.
And it's just like another step. And then once I get to the car, I don't have to physically do as much. And so I can focus just on the mental. And once I get that, then I can focus on that. And it's one little step at a time. And plus two, I toned down my the road rage. I tone it down because y'all still get road rage whenever I do put out the videos, but I do tone it down a little bit because I feel like be accountable, Misha. Don't be such a hateful person. And I get hateful out there on the road because there's got to have some kind of spicy somewhere. But y'all get to hear it, and so that helps too. Just knowing that I'm not alone, even though at that moment I am. But I know that I have friends that are out there that are ready and willing to be there for me.
And cheering you on every step, every single one of those little steps.
Yeah, and that's
right.
That's why I want to build a village, Kim. That's why it's so important to me. Because I may not have a whole lot to offer, but what I have, I want to. And I want to make it, I want to find a way to where that we can all do that. And we can all feel like we are doing something worthy. But we have to do it in a way that's actually working cohesive to build this all up instead of letting this continue to fall. And that's where I think a lot of us have been for a little bit. We all wanted to help. We all wanted to do, but we are not taught all this.
Right.
And so we've been getting in this vicarious trauma. We've been getting in this idolization. We've been getting in this pain, this hurt, this compounded. And it is a great and beautiful thing. But I think that it can become a very hard and ugly thing quick, especially for those of us with trauma, like we all have. And so that's one of the things that's helped me too, is to be able to look at the hope that we can build this. We can do this and do
Right.
it in ways that we could do it. That's not going to, like, for me, I feel bad because I feel like I'm not doing enough for people and I'm not able to be there for people. And I, I'm trying to work around that, but I see the results of losing people. And I
Hmm.
know in my mind, I'm telling myself it's because they think that I just let them down, and that's not it. Um, I really, truly am trying every single second of every single day that I'm doing stuff. It's doing something. It's not. It's not resting. There's not resting,
Right.
um, and that's what hurts so bad. I think today, because man, yeah, that's why I want to build a village.
That's beautiful.
It is a
That's,
beautiful village. We are full of so many amazing people. I know
hmm.
that I'm going to be able to be better because of you guys.
Yeah. Crystal's saying that there's been times when she's been housebound and those steps have been hard to get back out there. But while off, it took everything to leave her place, unless she was headed to my house. Um,
Yeah,
but I know what that's like as well. Um, I tend not to go socialize very much. Um, I isolate like you wouldn't believe. I put on a really great face, you know,
yeah. That mask
um,
breaks.
but no,
That
I
great
don't
face.
socialize.
I do hear.
Yeah.
I do hear, and that's, I've been really crushed here, not here, but like online. Like I
Yeah.
almost gave everything up
Oh,
this last
honey,
year.
I'm glad you didn't.
I am too. I'm grateful for that, and I still love the person I still love, and I'm working through the reasons.
Hmm.
But it is very easy to you finally decide to give it another shot,
Yeah.
and everything in you says not to, and you still do it anyways. And then here I
Yeah.
am, boom, boom. It was all facade, you know. Um, but I've got more to fight for than just me and my feelings.
Absolutely.
And so I want to be able to do that with others and help them if they've got the agoraphobia, if they've got these issues, if they've got that. We are all dealing with shit. Let's
Yep.
bring it together. Let's put it out there and let's go away and work through it instead of just keeping it on our backs.
Yep.
One step.
One step.
It's like when you're doing dishes or something and you're so tired, and
Yeah.
I'm like, one
Oh
more
yeah.
dish. I've only got one more dish. I've only got five more dishes. And you just work your way through it.
Yep. It's all
It's the
about
same.
the attitude.
Yeah, just keep on going. If you just keep on going, it's done, and then you can look back and say, "Well, I did that."
Yeah.
And the body doubling, I like that. What you talked about doing the meditation, because that essentially is body doubling. If
Yeah.
we can just sit down and do it, and we're accountable.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we're all kids, all of us. None of us really grew up. They just made us.
They just they just made us look like adults because of our age. That's
Yeah,
it.
it's not fair. We
Yeah.
already got to deal with all the other crap with it.
I know, right?
I'm reclaiming my
The
kiddom.
little hairs on my chin
Man,
and
oh man. I got those. The doctor told me after I got off drugs, whenever I was 25, that I was going through the change and put me on hormones.
oh my.
Ass heart. That didn't come out right. I don't even know what I was trying to say. Arse hat. That's what I was trying to say.
Horse hat. Yeah.
Arse hat.
Ass heart, huh? Yeah.
I'm still moody, aren't I?
Mm.
But no. So yeah, I had the whole witches thing on the chinny chin chin. And my girls used to laugh at me and play with it. I'm like, uh-uh. But you know what else too? My oldest daughter, I used to have perfect eyebrows. Beautiful eyebrows. And I was very
Oh.
proud of those eyebrows. And then eventually I started looking like Chewbacca. And I'm like, what the crap? How did that happen all of a sudden? That's not something you hear about. Samantha used to go whenever I was sleeping and take her tweezers and take my eyebrows and do them.
While
I
you were
had
sleeping.
perfect eyebrows, but while I was sleeping, she was doing them for me.
Wow, that
I sleep
hurts.
hard. I sleep
Do
hard.
you ever? Holy
Yes.
moly.
I enjoy sleep. Sleep is a good thing.
I enjoy sleeping too, but if somebody tried tweezing my brows while I was sleeping, I might reach out and touch someone.
She had to have the magic touch, but she's always wanted, since she was little, to be a cosmetologist. And so she's probably using me as practice, developed a very fine skill.
Yeah.
Stink butt. So now I'm Chewbacca. That was my Chewbacca voice. It sounds good in my head.
That's better than mine, so it's all good. Yeah.
Well, girl.
Yes. I'm going to play our song, and I'm just going to call it our song because Misha wrote it for me, so I can't claim that it's mine. But I'm going to play our song because it is absolutely beautiful. What's going to happen is I'm going to take the chorus of it, and that's going to become the intro. And then for those who want to hear the whole thing, that's what's going to become the outro of my show.
I love that.
So that's, yeah, because there's times when so much of that song needs to be heard. It shouldn't just be that little bit.
I'm so glad you like that.
Oh, it is wonderful. I love it. Love it.
Yay.
So yes, alrighty. So here we go. I'm going to play this. And on that note, we are going to sign off. I will talk to you later. I love you, my friend.
I love you too.
I will see everybody again on Thursday. What's happening Thursday?
I love you guys. Thanks for sitting here with me and listening to me. Again.
On Thursday, we're going to have a fun show. We've got Mary coming on to talk about her cookies. And she's got a whole cookie thing going on. So we're going to be having fun with that. Pardon?
I submitted a recipe.
Oh, did you? Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. I will talk to everybody later. And wait, hang on. We have to
wait for it.
Screen share. Helps if I don't actually shut off the thing. Oh, Misha.
Don't be like Ned.
Oh, Misha, I have shut it off and I no longer have it.
You're good. Because look.
Okay. There we go. I have that. There. Now I'm going to stream.
Alone, carrying stories in the shadows, they came to be shown. Through the pain and healing, together we will rise. With every open heart, we see through clearer eyes. You are my brother, my sister, my friend. In this space, with the broken pieces mend. No hate, just love and hands to hold. A place where every soul is bold. I'm my brother's keeper, my sister, my friend. In this space, the broken pieces mend. No hate, just love and hands to hold. A place where every soul is bold. I'm my brother's keeper, I'm my sister's guide. Standing here together with nothing left to hide. We lift each other up when the world feels torn apart. We're keepers of the flame, we're the healers of the heart. Some come with scars, some come with dreams. In this circle, we're more than what we seem. No judgment here, just voices to be heard. Through laughter, through the tears, we find every word. I'm my brother's keeper, I'm my sister's guide. Standing here together with with nothing left to hide. We lift each other up when the world feels torn apart. We're keepers of the flame, we're the healers of the heart. When the darkness calls, we'll light the way. When the darkness calls, we'll light the way. No one here has to face it alone today. No one here has to face it alone today. We're stronger as we stand hand in hand. We're stronger as we stand hand in hand. With love in our hearts we heal this land. With love in our hearts we heal this land. I'm my brother's keeper, I'm my sister's guide. Together we'll find peace, no need to hide. Ooh. We lift each other up when the world feels torn apart. We're keepers of the flame, we're the healers of I'm my brother's keeper, I'm my sister's guide. Together we'll find peace, no need to hide. We lift each other up when the world feels torn apart. We're keepers of the flame, we're the healers of the heart. We're keepers of the flame, we're the healers of the heart. We're keepers of the flame, we're the healers of the heart. Keepers of the flame.
That last part.
I know, right? We have to stop it before we get to the next one. So that was,
I'm so glad.
Thank you, everybody, for joining in that.
Yeah,
thank you, everybody, for coming and joining us. Misha, I'm going to have to do a short of that song, just a little bit of it.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be coming with your video. That's all that's
awesome.
Already included.
Okay. I'll see you later, everybody. I will see you on Thursday as we talk to Mary about cookies.
Cookies.
Talk to you later.
I love you guys. Love you.
Nom, 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 nom.
Nom, 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 nom.
Bye-bye.
Bye.